Alan Ritchson crushed his Reacher audition despite Amazon promising the role to someone else. Reacher star Alan Ritchson recalls crushing his lengthy audition and winning the lead role in the show, despite Amazon having promised it to someone else. Based on Lee Child's Jack Reacher novel series, the hit Prime Video adaptation premiered in 2022, following Ritchson as the titular former military police officer as he travels from town to town taking down criminals. Reacher recently returned for Season 3, earning some of the show's most positive reviews, yet with its adaptation of Child's Persuader novel, propelling Ritchson to yet new heights as a leading man. In a recent video for Wired in which he answers questions suggested by Google's autocomplete search feature, Ritchson reveals that he wasn't actually the original choice to star in Reacher, and that another actor had been promised the part. Though Ritchson doesn't reveal the name of the other actor in question, he explains that he was ultimately able to win Amazon and the show's creative team over by nailing his 8-month audition process. Check out Ritchson's response below when faced with the autocomplete question of why he was cast as Reacher. "I asked myself the same question, and so did the studio, because they went back multiple times I'm not sure this is the right guy. We want somebody bigger and stronger and faster, but yeah, I don't know. I ask myself the same thing, and every day I fight for my job because there's an asterisk by this thing for me. It wasn't an easy get. It was an 8-month audition process, okay? You think I felt wanted at the end of the 8-month process when they're fine. And then I find out after the fact that they promised the job to another dude. And I was just I just happened to be crushing the audition. And they were I guess we have to strongly consider this guy who was just supposed to be somebody we threw in the mix. And I ended up winning the role. So I too asked myself the same question. Thanks for that. It's not clear who else was in contention to lead the Reacher cast, but Amazon evidently made the right choice." The show debuted to strong reviews in 2022, and these reviews have generally remained positive throughout the show's run. In his Reacher Season 3 review for Screen Rant, Greg MacArthur writes that Ritchson once again proves that he was born to play Reacher, a role he nearly lost but fought his way back to landing. The success of Reacher extends beyond positive reviews, however. The show has been a massive viewership win for Amazon, and it remains one of Prime Video's most popular original shows of all time. The Wrap recently reported that Reacher Season 3 now stands as the most watched returning season of a show on Prime Video, boasting 54.6 million viewers in its first 19 days. It's no surprise then that Ritchson is already confirmed to return for Reacher Season 4, which will start filming this. Ritchson's story highlights just how seriously Amazon took the Reacher casting process after the backlash to Tom Cruise's casting as the character for the 2 movie adaptations in 2012 and 2016. The character is described as being 6'5" and 250 pounds in Child's novels, a limiting factor when it comes to who can be cast. Ritchson is 6'3", and it's possible that the other actor the role had been promised to more accurately reflects the character's size in the books. Even though Ritchson may not be exactly as big as the Reacher described in the books, he certainly nails other aspects of the character, including his natural sense of charisma and intelligence. Plus, the show is filmed in such a way that Ritchson still looks very physically intimidating and much larger than most of the other characters. As Reacher Season 3 continues to entertain, it's clear that the right actor was chosen for the part. In the world of television casting, few roles come with as much baggage and anticipation as Jack Reacher. The stoic, hulking, and hyper-intelligent ex-military policeman created by author Lee Child has captured the imaginations of millions of readers across more than 24 novels. So when Amazon announced plans to adapt the series for streaming, fans held their collective breath. Who would be able to embody the sheer physical presence, charisma, and quiet menace of Reacher? The answer, as it turns out, was Alan Ritchson. But his journey to landing the role was anything but straightforward. In fact, he wasn't even Amazon's first choice. Behind the scenes, the Reacher casting process was fiercely competitive. Amazon had reportedly promised the role to another actor, someone with a higher profile, a more familiar name, perhaps a recent box office draw. It's not uncommon in Hollywood to cast based on clout rather than fit, and with a franchise as valuable as Reacher, executives were understandably cautious. They needed a lead who could anchor the series and attract a broad audience. Alan Ritchson, while not a household name at the time, had been steadily building a career with roles in Smallville, Blue Mountain State, Titans, and The Hunger Games: Catching Fire. Known for his athletic build and commanding presence, he checked the physical box immediately. Standing at 6'3" and built like a tank, Ritchson was far closer to the 6'5", 250-pound Reacher described in the novels than Tom Cruise's earlier iteration. But he wasn't just muscles and a jawline. Ritchson brought something else: a deep understanding of the character, a dry sense of humor, and an intensity that simmered just beneath the surface. When Ritchson finally got the chance to audition, it wasn't a sure thing. The role, as far as he knew, had already been cast. Yet instead of backing down or phoning it in, he took a bold approach. He walked into the audition room fully embodying Reacher, quiet, observant, confident, and intimidating without trying to be. He didn't act Reacher, he was Reacher. Casting directors were floored. Ritchson's audition reportedly left producers speechless. There was a grounded realism to his performance, a rare mix of danger and charm that made it impossible to look away. He delivered lines with a calm menace that made Reacher's intelligence and unpredictability come alive. It was clear that this wasn't just a guy playing tough. This was a man who understood the complex layers of a character who's both brutally efficient and morally upright. The chemistry with the rest of the cast was another deciding factor. In callbacks and screen tests, Ritchson's interactions felt authentic and unforced. He could anchor a scene with silence, making audiences lean in rather than check out. Word began to spread internally at Amazon that they might have to rethink their decision. Ritchson had changed the game. Eventually, the promise made to the other actor was overruled. Talent won out. Alan Ritchson had crushed the audition so thoroughly that executives couldn't ignore what was right in front of them. In the high-stakes world of streaming television, where franchises can make or break a platform's momentum, Ritchson had earned the role not through backroom deals or star power, but sheer skill and alignment with the character's essence. The results spoke for themselves. When Reacher premiered on Prime Video, it became one of the platform's most watched series within days. Fans of the books rejoiced. Finally, they had a Reacher who looked the part and acted it too. Ritchson brought not only physical intimidation, but a thoughtful, emotionally grounded performance that elevated the show beyond a standard action thriller. Today, Ritchson is no longer the underdog. His portrayal has redefined what fans expect from a literary adaptation. And perhaps the most satisfying detail of all? He earned it against the odds, proving that sometimes the best man for the job isn't the one who was promised it, but the one who won it. Most watched series within days. Fans of the books rejoiced. Finally, they had a Reacher who looked the part and acted it too. Ritchson brought not only physical intimidation, but a thoughtful, emotionally grounded performance that elevated the show beyond a standard action thriller. Today, Ritchson is no longer the underdog. His portrayal has redefined what fans,